Hey Google, define movie tragedy.
On the website literaryterms.net, they say, tragedy is a genre of story in which a hero is brought down by his/her own flaws, usually by ordinary human flaws, flaws like greed, overambition, or even an excess of love, honor, or loyalty.
Hey Google, how do you spell tragedy?
Tragedy is spelled Tragedy.
Hey Google, thank you.
You got it.
Hello and welcome to the channel. It is Just Trying, and today we are going to be talking about the tragedy script I'm writing. That is also this month's plan, is writing scripts. So why don't you join the ride and subscribe so you can see that to the end. This is the third of our 4-week videos. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So for my script, I've been wondering, where do I want the greatness to begin, because tragedy starts with greatness and then is brought down. So what do I start with? A person surrounded by friends and family, only to slowly reveal that they are lonely through thoughts, emotions, and scenery? No, not that one. Not yet, at least. Perhaps then with a beautiful first love story that slowly falls apart. I'm already doing that script. I think I'll have to go with the person working hard, doing everything in their power to be the best and fight hard, only to realize that the costs were not worth the benefits. This idea came to me a while ago when I couldn't think of anything else. I asked God for help as I wrote the script for the video that you're watching now, and He gave me that idea. I even had a different story that I wanted to write, one that I wrote in high school that needed to be revamped, that I really wanted to do and even talked about in my comedy video, which is in the upper right-hand corner so you can watch it. But God wants me to make the one where everything they do and fighting hard is not worth the benefits in the end because of what they lose. I'm totally going to do what He said, otherwise I wouldn't be even talking about this right now. And I know He has a great reason. The story is going to be a slow descent into how this person's life has been changed from not doing any work or chore related stuff, but always spending time with friends and family, to the polar opposite. It's going to be a little less tragic from the other stories that we said, but at the same time I haven't really decided on the ending of the story yet. I mean, tragedy in and of itself is a terrible thing that a lot of people go through, and it's something that we can always get back up from because tragedy strikes and then we sit up again and start working on. So maybe that would be the story, but is that really what I want to challenge myself to do? Because I like writing happy endings, I like giving good things and having everything to show that it's okay. So is that the story I want? Is that how I want this story to end? I've had many tragic things in my life, and I'll just tell you one, and I'll tell you how the story ended how the story ended. When I was born a twin. Her name was Abigail. We were identical twins, and we were practically inseparable. She was the first one born, as in the first twin born, not the firstborn of the family. And I almost died coming after her in a kind of odd event, but that's a story for another time. As life continued on, my mom couldn't tell us apart, but my dad always could. At one point, I think my mom even put a little Sharpie on our heads or something like that under our hair because we had bangs. And it was just fun because I would follow her around. I didn't do as many things as she did. For example, she was the first to walk, and then I walked. Same for crawling and talking and everything else. And suddenly Abigail, she started getting very sick, and she would keep throwing up for no good reason. And my mom brought her to a doctor. They were saying there's nothing wrong, and Abigail had to throw up on the floor for them to finally realize, oh, there's something wrong here. They did a brain scan, and it turned out to be brain cancer. And so went on the next couple of years, where she lost her hair, she went through chemotherapy, even things kind of went through in there. We're still in Tennessee, and eventually the cancer went away, and we were all very, very happy about that. And everything was just going to turn out for the best. And, cancer came back much stronger. A lot of things happened. She eventually couldn't walk anymore. She had a hard time moving. And one day she just went home to God. She was a very kind, loving, compassionate person. She was a very good leader. She led all of us, not just me, in everything. She had a heart after Jesus, a heart after God. She just led people closer, like, to God and to kindness and compassion. Like, at one time I was upset and she sang to me just to make me feel better. And she was just a really one in a lifetime kind of person. And she died when we were 6. And it's still something that affects me today, not as much as it did years ago, you know. It's like knowing that something is missing from you. And over the years, my parents, especially my dad, worked very hard to make sure that I understood that that is not who I was, that Abigail was not who I was in a weird way. And a lot of people talked to me and were like, it's okay, everything's going to be better, which I know it was, and it did turn out better, obviously. And I know because of that tragedy, that moment where Abigail died, when she was gone, I was able to be much more of a compassionate person and be my own person in my own way. Like, she wasn't there to lead me, so I had to learn to lead myself, and I'm still learning that. I've learned to be much more compassionate and care more about other people. I've learned to be more loving and to try to be friends with as many people as I possibly can, and to just be that compassionate person, to be on fire for God, and a lot of things like that. And that's because of one tragic event, and it was worth going through. I know that everything's going to be okay, and that I'm able to work, that I have friends and family around me, and a God who loves me and cares about me, and I know that things are going to be better and going to do better, and because I know everything's going to be okay, because God's got it, and my family, friends are here for me, and I kind of, I don't know. And I almost feel like that's a tragedy in and of itself. I don't know. This is not copyright. Not copyright. We're all at peace. Not copyright. And that's going to be the end music for a while because I don't have music.